Hey everyone, I recently watched Saltburn. It's a movie I feel very conflicted over. It's a crazy experience with lots of twists and turns, but not all of it works. This is the new film from Emerald Fennell, which stars Barry Keoghan and Jacob Elordi. The casting here is perfect, Jacob Elordi especially. He brings such a pure, bouncy charm to this character, which I'm not used to from him. You really believe him as this good-natured, kind soul. Barry Keoghan is also excellent and embraces the weirdness that is this film. The rest of the cast, which includes Richard E. Grant and Rosamund Pike, helped to flesh out the world and were great supporting players. The aesthetics of Saltburn are dazzling. The colors pop and the cinematography is beautiful. The visuals are a real feast, even if the use of the 4:3 aspect ratio was questionable. Wes Anderson uses it to communicate different time periods, time frames, and settings. Lots of his films are stories within stories, and the different aspect ratios help communicate this. A film like Mogul Mowgli uses it to show us visually what our character is going through mentally. It is a box and our protagonist is trapped inside. Saltburn, however, has a reason, but was it the right decision? The staggering castle and wide open fields feel like they would have been better serviced in a different aspect ratio. Emerald Fennell has said that they used 4:3 to give the audience a feeling of peeping in, which is certainly true, but at the cost of the sweeping vistas and architecture which could have given the film a sense of grandeur. The cinematography is truly brilliant though, like I said before, it's a visual feast. The problems start to begin when we talk about the story. The twist doesn't work for me. The film treats it like it's more shocking than it actually is. While watching, I thought of several other directions they could have taken that would have been more interesting. It's a shame because it affects the whole film, and leaves you with a bad aftertaste. I wouldn't say it ruins the film, but it comes close. This could have been so much more interesting to me. I was dissecting the film as it was playing out, but the twist throws a lot of that out of the window. This is a divisive film. Some people hate it, some love it, but for me, I can acknowledge it has flaws and still enjoy it for what it is. This is an extremely entertaining watch. I was in a packed theatre, and hearing the groans of disgust from everyone as this played out enhanced my experience. To be honest, I wanted to like this more than I did, and I'm still clutching onto that. In my head, I'm focusing on the good parts rather than the bad, even if the bad is notable. Saltburn can come across as edgy at times. The twist at the end is handled in an over-the-top way, and there was a moment in particular which had me curious as to why it was there. Even if that moment was hilarious and part of the fun of this film. Barry Keoghan's character gets up to some questionable things to say the least. These can be viewed as pointless, gratuitous moments which serve only to shock the audience. I thought that they were exciting and part of the roller coaster that is this film. It's kind of a mess, and so are my thoughts on the movie if you couldn't tell. Lots of it works, but lots doesn't. I think the experience of Saltburn is better than the actual film. Once you get over its initial charm, you're left without any substance, which sucks. This has the beauty and cast to be one of my favorites of the year. I still quite like the movie. There's good here if you can get on board with it. It is easy to jump ship, however, as the film definitely does, in its third act. For the kind of film it's trying to be, you'd expect there to be more meaning to sink your teeth into. By the end, you're left without much to chew on, and as an audience member, that is extremely frustrating. What the story turns into is one that we've more or less seen before, a kind of eat-the-rich narrative that offers little insight or depth, similar to The Menu in that way. It tries to be so many things and never figures out truly what it wants to be. It's clearly a dig at the rich, but never analyzes the class divide or anything really. It's more of a thriller rather than an eat the rich film, as it doesn't follow a lot of the conventions of those movies. The costume design, editing, and score were all remarkable, and that pains me. So much of this was great, but so much of this lacked substance. It's a tough film to rate, and I've gone back and forth on it multiple times, but I have finally settled on a score. I'm going to give Saltburn a 3 out of 5. I'm giving it more of a positive review because of how good the experience was and the quality of many of its technical details. But because ultimately it comes up short and lacks depth, I've landed on a 3 out of 5 rather than a 3.5 or 4. It's a goodish film, but unfortunately doesn't go beyond that. Thank you for watching, and make sure you subscribe for some more film content. I guess that's goodbye for now.